Welcome to a week of fantastic, simple yet delicious dinners that we had this week. Now, on the first day, we are going to have spaghetti and meatballs. Yes, I said simple dishes, but very delicious because sometimes I just think we sometimes overthink things. So I just want to show you how we can just enjoy simple meals. And you can use this as ideas for your family. You can give me more ideas of simple yet delicious meals that cook for your family down below. Because, yeah, here we're all about sharing and caring. Now, the first thing I did was to really chop up my onions into very tiny pieces using the food processor, because these are the onions that are going to go into the meatballs. Another thing I did this time is I am soaking my breadcrumbs in milk before I mix it in with the meat. But one mistake you see the way I'm patting down the breadcrumbs? They became so hard. Like, I was just supposed to leave it like nice and airy. So by the time it came to mixing it in with the meat and, you know, the garlic and the egg and the coriander leaves and everything, the breadcrumbs had become one big mass of meat. No, not of meat, of just one big mass. All right. So I would suggest it's a very good idea to soak your breadcrumbs, but don't pat them down like I was doing with the spatula. Then I just turn them into regular sized, medium sized meatballs. And this time I want to air fry them, not deep fry them. And let's see how that turns out. Now, I had about 2 batches of meatballs to go into the air fryer, and each one is taking about 20 minutes or so because I really want them to be thoroughly cooked on the inside. And I decided to do something that I have been procrastinating on. Procrastination. Let me know one thing that you've been procrastinating on doing in your house. For me, it has been cleaning the glass, you know, the window, not the windows, the mirrors and the light fixtures. Ideally, let me just tell you the truth. I was supposed to have done this last week when we were hosting guests. If you watched the video I did about making snacks, we were hosting 5 families. Amazing thing that we do every other month. So the plan had been that I will take the time, because let me tell you, especially our light fixture in the living room was so dusty, and I had told myself, for the guests come, I'm going to make sure I get this done. Hey, did I even? So the guests have come and they have left. Please make sure you watch that video. It had really fantastic recipes for snacks that you can make for your family or your guests. But I've decided to take this time because I have 20 minutes and about 40 minutes by the time both batches of meatballs are ready. I have that time to just do this thing. And sometimes it's so weird the way we procrastinate on even the smallest things. Okay. Another thing I've been procrastinating, why can't I say this word? Procrastinating on is removing this peeled part of the contact paper. Guys, let me tell you, just want to be honest with you and just share my struggles today. Okay. This contact paper fell off like halfway, and I think the plan was, okay, we're going to get glue and put it back, but who has time for that? So a few months ago, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to pull out the whole paper and be done with it. Look at me now. It's been months of looking at that unsightly contact paper that was halfway on, halfway off. Anyway, finally managed to do it. I'm very happy about it. So this is your motivation. If there's something you have been procrastinating on, get going. Go ahead and do it. I love this sprayway glass cleaner because it really does leave. It's a streak-free shine. Like, you don't have those lines. I love it. Works so well for my glass, everything. And please stay tuned until the end because I really want you to let me know which of these meals you normally cook most often in your house. I'm making, by the way, very, very simple and delicious. I think that's going to be the key of this video so that we can stop just complicating the whole idea of dinner. And I'm so glad because one of the other videos that you guys have really responded to is one I was talking about the different community meals that we have here in Kenya. And I'm making a meal in this video that a lot of guys commented on in that video saying, no, this is a typical Kenyan meal. You should have put this in this video. We really need to know. So stay tuned for that as well. Let me tell you, my mind and my brain are not functioning right now. I think it's because I've just come from night shift. I haven't slept all night. And I was like, if I don't do this voiceover now before I sleep, I'm going to take a nap. And then I'm going to wake up at 2 p.m. and it will be too late to get this video out to you guys. So yeah, if you hear me rambling and saying things that are not making sense, just know a girl has been awake for about 24 hours straight. Yeah, that's how much I love you guys. I really want to make sure that we are doing at least 2 videos per week, and I'm excited. Yeah. Yes. What we are serving our meatballs with is spaghetti, of course, because everybody knows it's spaghetti and meatballs. But let me be the first one to confess, I personally, and don't tell my children, I don't like spaghetti. I do not like it. Let me know if you're in my team. How yummy does this meal look? My kids loved it. It's day 2 and today we are having bean stew, mixed bean stew and chapati. Now this is the meal that a lot of people just were not happy that I did not include it in the meals that Kenyans love to make. And I boiled my beans with a huge piece of carrot because they say it reduces the gas. I will be back and I will tell you whether this works or not. Anyway, I've had this said before, and yeah, personally for me, I haven't had an issue having these beans, but I'm waiting to hear from the other eaters of the beans whether they were affected or not. I love beans so much. You guys know how much I love beans. Now, in the video where we were talking about the Kenyan communities, I struggled. I know chapati is such a Kenyan, the original Kenyan meal, okay? But remember, the video was talking about various dishes that Kenyan communities make. And I could not decide, like, who makes chapatis? Who do they belong to? If you know the answer to this question, let me know, because I was like, I don't want to come and say, oh, this chapati is a meal made by I don't know which community. And then guys are like, no, those are not the ones who make. So, help me out, okay? And what I did when I was making this bean stew, because I think that's almost everybody's most favorite way to have chapati is with bean stew, I decided to mix 2 types of beans. I have these big white ones and I'm forgetting their name. I love them. What are they called? Again, guys, I haven't slept for 24 hours, okay? But I mix them with yellow beans because it's nice to have your beans that way sometimes. Just mix them up. Mix them, gather them, It comes out very nicely. Yeah, so I'm serving them, as I said, again with chapati. And if you don't know how to make chapati, chapati. I've made a really detailed video on how to make really nice and soft chapatis that will blow your socks off. Incidentally, let me tell you guys, do you know in my whole adult life, I did not know how to make chapatis, despite the fact that I could cook so many other nice dishes. I learned how to make chapatis during the lockdown because I was like, okay, I'm not giving myself an option. I have to learn how to make these things. I don't know, because before then, I just used to make chapatis and they would come out as hard as cardboard. They would be cracking in the middle. It was such a source of embarrassment. Sort of like how I used to feel about mandazis until last week. You guys, you have to check out my mandazis. They are just the most amazing things. Yeah, but now I'm happy to report that my chapatis, oh my goodness, they're those ones that you cook and then they come out with layers. Although I've really reduced my consumption of chapatis. They're working against me, you guys. But anyway, this is our meal for day 2. Yes, and please shout out to these layers. This soft chapati tasted amazing. Today we are having rice with raisins and lentil curry. Now, if you want to have vegetarian meals, lots of them, it's not just beans and githeri like we used to have. So I've really discovered, I'm so sleepy. I really love various types of lentils. So this time we decided to do the yellow lentils. And I love them. My kids love them. I think they taste almost the same as dengu, which is the green grams. But yeah, it's just different. And then for rice, I love rice with raisins because especially if we're going to make something like this vegetarian, some kids don't like, it's not their favorite meal, okay? But it's healthy and it's full of fiber and all that jazz. So what I do is if I'm making something like this, I try to make the accompaniment be something fun, okay? So if it's rice, I'm going to put like raisins. I'm going to make coconut rice. There are so many different types of rice to make if you decide to go with rice. And that's why I'm making rice with raisins. When you hear people telling you sleep is important, please believe them, okay? And sometimes I think people take for granted until maybe you're in a position where you don't get regular hours of sleep, like I sometimes do. And then you really get to envy people who sleep. Like, people who say, oh, me, I'm in bed every 10 p.m. I'm in bed and then I wake up at 6. I'm like, wow, must be very, very nice. I'm not complaining. It's a life I have chosen and I love it and it works for me. But there are days, let me tell you, I will be asked a very obvious question and my brain is just not loading. My brain is not computing. Like, what are you saying? And it's embarrassing, but that's because I haven't slept. So please guard your sleep. I love this meal. It turned out so well. Today, we are having modokoi. Yes, you guys, since I discovered modokoi, I cannot get enough. It's a Kamba dish, as you know if you watched that video I was talking about. I have never made it before, but I absolutely love it. And my kids are also warming up to it. Okay, you know, I've always loved githeri because I mean, I grew up eating githeri, but the githeri we used to have was very hard when I was growing up because, yeah, that's the Kikuyu way. We're not using green maize. If it's not the season for green maize, we're using the really hard maize. I don't know why we never thought that we can remove the outer husk and just make it soft again. So, and I don't know if that makes it to have less fiber because, again, fiber is so important, as I am learning. Fiber is so important. It's as important as protein, which is weird. So I'm still trying to figure out how to increase the fiber intake of my family. But anyway, modokoi is so nice and such a staple now in my family. We are going to be eating it a lot. And I forgot to remove the maize from the freezer. And this is a hack my mom taught me, is just take the frozen, whatever it is that you're putting, then you pour boiled water over it. And within a few minutes, it just disintegrates. I would like to hear from you guys. In what ways do you intentionally increase the intake of fiber in your family, and how is that working for you? Because there are some ways when we increase fiber, our bodies react. Okay, this meal looks so delicious. Another thing that I've really been procrastinating on doing this week is just vacuuming. And so I decided, again, I'm going to take another chunk of 5 minutes and vacuum, especially our living room. The whole idea was to vacuum even our seat, but the kids are waiting because we're supposed to do, normally what we do is every weekday after dinner, we do an activity. Most of the nights we're going to read silently for 30 minutes. People ask me a lot, like, how do you make your kids read so much? We do it as a family after dinner because there's no watching TV during weekdays, of course, if school is in session. So that has really helped our kids be avid readers. But then again, some nights we're going to be playing Scrabble, or we're going to be playing charade, or we play this game. Let me tell you a game, if you haven't played with your kids, you should. And I guess for us, we tend to play with our kids a lot because they don't go to school, so they don't learn games when they go there. But the game of, you know, that ABC game where someone counts silently and then tell them to stop, and the letter where they have stopped at, then you write down a boy's name, a girl's name, a food name, a place name, and kids cannot get enough of that game. Please try it out. So that's something else we've been doing together in the evenings. So yeah, so on this night, it was silent reading for 30 minutes. And of course, can we end a week without having ugali and beef stew? Is that even possible? So that's what we're having tonight. I'm just preparing mincemeat stew. And I'm going to do something a bit, I think, might be controversial. Let me know. I like to hear people's opinion on this, because some people are like, no, that's a big no, you cannot do that. And then some guys are like, oh, yeah, okay, sometimes I do it. And some guys are completely nonchalant about it. So let me know what you think. So when I was talking about how fiber sometimes affects you, like I noticed one thing that has plenty of fiber is avocados. Avocados are very high in fiber. Most people don't know that, but they are, and they're really good for you. They also have, of course, very healthy fats. But I noticed if I eat more than like a third of an avocado, my tummy react like so badly. It's the same way like guys feel like when they eat beans. Beans are very high in fiber as well. So I'm looking for ways in which to increase fiber in our meals. So let me know what you do. So have you noticed my controversial thing yet? So my controversial thing is adding potatoes, okay, in a meal that's going to be served with ugali. Cause yeah, I know. I'm just waiting to hear what you guys think about it. Because one reason why I wanted to do that is one, of course, to bulk up my beef stew. Okay, I wanted the beef stew to be a lot. I know I'm from the mountains. We do that here. We add a lot of things to our meats to make them increase. Okay, and also number two, I wanted because one thing I do is when I'm making meals like this, I always make at least enough for 2 meals. Because you guys know how I love making future meals. I'm not just going to stand all these evenings to just cook a meal for one night. I mean, I'm working smart, okay? So I want to give myself the freedom to serve this beef stew next week with something different. Either I'm going to serve it with chapati, or I'm going to serve it with rice, or whatever. And so adding potatoes to me, it makes sense because I'm like, yeah, that opens up the field of how many things I can serve this beef stew with. However, I know some of you are going to be extremely, extremely not jazzed. So I want to know which camp you're in. Let me know if you would add potatoes to a meal that you're going to serve with ugali. And this is a finished meal. It's so delicious. Look at it. Potatoes or no potatoes. Yummy. Let me know if you've gotten ideas for this week's meals. Also, if you'd like to get ideas for breakfast, check out this video over here. I'll see you over there. Now, let me sleep. Good night.